yeah, that's the kind of stuff you'll be able to play after this lesson. Hi, it's me, Vinny, Doc, uh, here with another Clawhammer ukulele lesson. Um, Last week we learned all about the basic technique, striking the string with our fingernail and then bouncing off that with our thumb. Those basics of clawhammer, frailing, stroke style, whatever you want to call it. Last week I was using this technique a lot where my hand is almost perpendicular to the strings, but often I play like this as well, so there's no real correct angle. It's whatever works best for, sometimes it depends on how my fingernail and my skin on my finger are feeling. A lot of times I do play like this. And other times I play more like this. You can hear the difference in sound too. This gives me a softer tone, and this gives me a harsher tone. And you can see your tone will be affected where you play on here too. You play up here, and you see a lot of banjo players who play up here because of the nice tone you get. Classical music or classical guitar, ukulele, you call that playing tasto, over the neck. This would be playing normale, and then playing ponticello over here is playing real close to the bridge. Neck is a real intense kind of, I don't know, jangly sound, real twangy. But there you go. So do whatever way you want. One thing I would caution you to avoid is what I call the flick. I see it more in ukulele players than clawhammer banjo players, but instead of striking the string like that, you're more going, which works. It sounds good. I do it sometimes for effect, and obviously that's more like what I do for chords, a roll or a rake or something, strum. But that's going to create problems with rhythm eventually. If you really want to driving, it's going to be hard because you got to then coordinate that coming back. So I would caution against doing the flick. Make sure you're doing the hammer. That's why it's called claw hammer. You make the claw with your hand and you hammer. Alright, but like I said, we're going to do alternate tuning this time. So regular ukulele tuning, G, C, E, A, with a sort of high G right here. This is modeled really after, the guitar tuning. Well, I think it was originally based on what was called the machete. It was like a little vihuela type Portuguese guitar thing. Regardless, it's basically the same tuning as the top strings on the Spanish classical guitar. And that tuning is really conducive for chords, playing chords in however many different keys you want. You can go. So, works great. But some alternate tunings are better for playing in certain static keys, not playing any chords that are outside the key. And it's really all just about adding cool melodic effect, a lot of add-ons, just ornamentation, and just getting a nice groove. So that's what this tuning we're going to go into is all about. It's called sawmill tuning on the banjo. It's often called mountain minor or mountain modal. A lot of players will name it after whatever song they first learned it on, like cuckoo tuning or pretty polly tuning or something like that. But I usually call it sawmill. So to get that, we're going to leave this string and this string alone. We're going to take this string. Let me turn on my tuner right here. We're going to take our E string. I'm going to tune it up to F. Then we're going to take this A string. We want it down to G. Now, pro tip, when you're tuning down, you actually want to tune up. If you tune down to a note, you're going to end up with slack in the string. So I like to go below. I will go below G and then tune up to it. And that way the string will stay nice and tight and I won't have any tuning changes while I'm playing. sawmill tuning. Um, so if anyone wants like a music theory explanation of it, you don't want to just ignore me for the next minute or so. Normal banjo tuning is would have an E right here, and that would be the third of the chord. But we've gone up to F, so we've made it the fourth of the chord. So we've created what's called a suspended chord. It has no major or minor tonality. It's like harmonically ambiguous, and it's great for this kind of stuff because we can add on the third anywhere else as ornamentation to and make it however we want. We can play a song in sawmill that uses C major, or we can play a song in sawmill that uses C minor. And it's great. It's great for playing in certain keys. You can't really play outside of that key, but it's great for minor keys, Dorian, Mixolydian, because you have that. You can do you work in that flat seventh there too. So a lot of old time songs that are in Dorian or Mixolydian are often in sawmill tuning on the banjo. We're just applying it to the ukulele, so like a fourth up, sort of. Alright, so now we've got this. Now these two notes are kind of close together. So what a lot of people do is they fret on the second string, the second fret. So then these two notes become the same. In fact, all three of these notes right here are the same, which is kind of gives us the song this tuning its cool sound. For some songs, I'll play the open one because I like that dissonance. But for other songs, I want it to be more consonant. And this is nice and pretty and full. This is a really nice sound. So if you just take this and then apply the clawhammer technique that you learned last time, you can hammer any note here. I would practice with just the top one over and over again until you get that, and then work on doing it with the second one, and the third one, and sometimes even the fourth one, although it's hard. And then you can work on alternating it. So instead of going, you can go. So yeah, so just practice that. Or even open. So this is C. C ambiguous. C suspended. This is C major. This is C minor. So that's the chord. That's the basic chord of it. We have some other chords in this tuning too that if you'd like to practice would be great. So like I said, this is C. You can make it either C major or minor depending on however your brain wants to imagine it for the song, really. We've got an F chord right here. We've got a D flat chord. Sorry, I kind of think it's scale degrees now because I work in so many different tunings, so I really think in more in like 1, 4, 5 instead of F, B flat, C, you know what I mean. But so we got B flat, we got E flat right here. And then we've got a D minor. Open right here. So 2, 2, open 2. And those are most of the chords I know in this. Like I said, it's not great tuning for playing different chords in lots of different keys. It's more for doing stuff like this. Stuff sounds great, but you can't really, you can't play 2 5 1s and a bunch of keys. I mean, you probably could, but the fingering would be really difficult. I don't necessarily want to learn that. But yeah, this is the basic. said. So C, F, 2002, B flat, 3203, E flat, 0323. Those are fret numbers, sorry. Go down. And then G minor, 2202. So you can play a lot of songs though with those chords. You just have to make sure that the song you want to play is enharmonic, doesn't have a lot of chords outside the key. That's a lot of, like 90% of music probably is inside the key really, when you think about it. So you can still play a lot of songs. The easiest being like you could go through a 1-4-5. Bound cabbage down, boys, bake 'em old kids brown. Only song that I can sing is bound cabbage down. Going up the Cripple Creek, going on a run, going up the Cripple Creek, gonna have some fun. Oh, morning moon will shine on my arena. Moon of Kentucky gonna keep on shining. On the one that's gonna left me blue. Moon of Kentucky keep on shining. On the one that's gone and proved untrue. That's also like, almost every blues song ever, Or, oh baby, we gotta go. Oh. So yeah, 1, 4, 5, 5. You really made it right there. What else can you do? You can do the axis progression or the San Francisco progression, which is one of the most common chord progressions in music history. 1, 5, 6, 4, or in this key, F, C, D minor, B flat. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Took a midnight train going anywhere. Save tonight. Fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Save tonight. Fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. I wanna roll like they do in Texas, please. Hold on here, baby. Stay with me. Luck and intuition, play the cards, the spades, the stars. After he's been hooked, I'll play the one that's on his heart. Oh, 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 oh. So yeah, you can play a lot of songs with this tuning. But really, it's good for old-timey banjo songs. Or specifically like the one that was in the video I posted last week, which was a mashup of some sick banjo groove licks from the video game Red Dead Redemption by Rockstar. It's a tune called Mountain Banjo, originally played by the fantastic banjo player Rhiannon Giddens of the Carolina Chocolate Drops. So I stole a bunch of those grooves and those licks, and I added it to a traditional American English, I think, folk song called Shady Grove. You might know it. It's pretty popular. Doc Watson did a really popular cover of it. Fairpoint Convention did like a cool mashup where they combined Matty Groves with it. Holiday to holiday, the first one of the year. Lord Donald's wife went to the church, a sermon for to hear. So yeah, that's what I did, and I'll do a quick run through of what I'm doing here. Um, I'll just do a quick run through the song, I guess. The heart of it is this lick essentially that I developed while I was trying to learn the song pretty poorly. Um, and it's just this. I'm hammering there, open string, second string, and then hammering here, so we can double hammer really, hammer, hammer, um, onto the second fret to make it the same as this note and this note, and then I'm going, and then I'm I'm sort of drop thumbing. That's kind of advanced. Um, so we're gonna do it like a more simplistic, what's often called knockdown style. We're gonna go. So that second part of the lick is just me basically telling everyone, okay, this is minor, sort of, and then kind of bending up and being like, oh, maybe it's not. It's blues tonality. It's sort of in between. Blues is sort of in between major and minor. It doesn't really what we call Western music theory doesn't really apply to the blues. We assign like a mixolydian value to it, but that doesn't really apply. But regardless, blues is also ambiguous, which makes it great for sawmill tuning. So I'm just sort of playing this note, bending it up a little bit, and then pulling it off. And then, the rest of the riff goes, it's a hammer on right here. And, in between it, I'm maintaining this rhythm, this bum diddy rhythm. Remember I told you about the bum diddy? So bum diddy. So it's... As you can see, there's a lot of hammer-ons, there's a lot of pull-offs. Because that's banjo music. That's what you do when you have these open tunings. You see someone play the guitar with open tunings, blues guys, Irish guys, whatever culture uses open tunings more than we do. You'll see a lot of those hammer-ons, pull-offs type things. You see it a lot in a lot of ukulele players too. And so you gotta kind of get really good at that. So we'll start again. Whenever you want to take a break, you just go back to this. And that's the great thing about Clawhammer. You just go back to this rhythm, and you forget what you were doing. You lose the time. You're just tired. You just go back to the bum diddy rhythm. Diddy bum 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 diddy bum, until you find your place again. So the next part of the tune, I'm doing like this cool minor walk up on the C minor scale. A lot of hammer-ons, a lot of pull-offs, so make sure you're getting good at that. It's not that hard with nylon strings to do them, but it is hard to make them ring out, as well as on steel strings, like most banjo songs are. So you really got to put some power in them when you're pulling off. You really want to do that kind of like really pull them off, in my opinion, not just pull off. You really want to like that sort of tremolo picking, like. You really want to put some power into your hammer-ons and pull-offs. Fun fact, Pete Seeger, the great banjo player, invented the term hammer-on or pull-off that all the guitar players, ukulele players all use. It all comes from the banjo, which is pretty cool. Forgot what tuning I was in. All right, so you just do a pause, and then what I do is I go into Shady Grove, um, which, like I said, is a traditional American or English folk song. We stole most of our folk songs from the English or the Scottish or the Irish, um, and sort of added our own twist to it. Most of this stuff, banjo playing, all originated with African American slaves. Um, so a lot of this is American folk music is essentially the music of African slaves combined with English, Scottish, and some Irish music, and that's where American folk music comes from. Um, so any English people who aren't familiar with American folk music will recognize a lot of the songs. They'll just be very, very different. Um, sometimes they're really similar, um, and sometimes they're different. You can have fun with that. Like I played earlier with Matty Groves, Shady Grove. They don't actually have the same melody, but they had some fun with it. Um, so yeah, I'll do a little Shady Grove. So most old time tunes, we call this old time music, but a lot of old time tunes are also bluegrass tunes or country tunes. Um, they often have an A section and a B section. You can think of it like a verse or a chorus, kind of in pop music terms. Sometimes they'll have a C section like bridge. Um, but most of these just have an A or a B. They're pretty simple. Both they're folk music is usually simple melodically, simple harmonically, simple um, arrangement wise, because you want it to be transmitted easily and everyone to be able to play it. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's often awesome. Simplicity can be very cool, just like complex stuff can be cool. But the song, basically, I play the melody a little bit with it, and then I play the B section, and I add that riff into it. And I'm going to do a mix of drop thumb and regular knockdown style, so you can just emit the drop thumb or whatever, or try it too, but I just don't want to push you too much. And let's see. We'll just go into the tune. B. Yeah, so for this one, I'm using the fretted C note because I don't want too much dissonance in it. And I guess I'll sing a little bit. It's only got two chords, but I sort of add a third one with a B flat, but not really. You don't have to. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. I'm sorry, I meant I added an E flat. I added an E flat right there, then go back to B flat. The chords are really just Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. I like to play this. Cheeks as red as a blooming rose, and eyes as the prettiest brown. She's the darling of my eyes, the sweetest little girl in town. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. Cheeks as red as a blooming rose, and eyes as the prettiest brown. I already sang that part, but so as you can see, the song, I only really sing one part of the song. I don't really sing the B section. I don't hear too many people ever sing that part of it. And that might even be the original B section. That just might be the part that I learned. A lot of the songs combined and divided, so that might not even be part of the original song. Who knows? It's just the one I learned. But So, you sing the regular part. Shady Grove, my little love, in Shady Grove I stay. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. I'm sorry, I'm not really much of a singer, so you'll have to excuse my singing voice. It's not always in the right key for me on the ukulele either. That's not too bad, but some of them are. Continue. So you sing that part, and then you sing like a different verse, like cheeks as red as a bloom rose, and eyes as pretty as brown. She's the darling of my eyes, the sweetest little girl in the town. And then you go back, Shady Grove, my little, and that's basically how the song goes. I think originally you were supposed to replace Shady Grove with like your girl's name, like your girl's name was Lisa Jones, like Lisa Jones, my little Lisa Jones, I say. I think people stopped doing that. Shady Grove sounds pretty cool. I don't know. It's not really, I really met anyone named Shady Grove. I feel like they're talking about a place almost. So I don't really know. I'm not an ethnomusicologist by any means. But yeah. And so, that's claw hammering and sawmill tuning a little bit. And you don't have, if you like sawmill tuning, but you don't quite have the hang of claw hammer, well, that's fine too. It sounds really cool just strummed. Yeah, so just have fun hitting the notes. If you learn the major and minor scale, it makes it a little easier. You can then that. You can figure out what notes sound good, what notes sound bad, too. Just if it sounds great, you can use it to go up to something. Music's all about dissonance and consonance working in tandem, tension and release. So if you do play a wrong note, you just go to a right one afterwards. There's a strong one. Alright, so that just got really long. I'm sorry. That's my lesson. This is a cool shirt I just got from a country singer named Pink Williams. It was on TeePublic. I live in Maine, and you wouldn't expect it, but we get a lot of people who wear Confederate flag shit. I don't really like that. I guess they don't know who Joshua Chamberlain is. They've never heard of a bayonet. So this is sort of my response, and it's definitely pissed some people off, but I don't really care. Yeah, that's my Clawhammer ukulele lesson. I hope you liked it. If you want another one, I'll probably make another one. If you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. And hopefully everything's clear.